What is up, everybody? I'm No Lex Given, and today we're going to be taking a look at Zelhua, which is a really powerful hero if you can just make it to the end game. But once you do, you have a very unique and powerful hero power, which allows you to outspend the rest of the lobby and take over the game. You don't really have to do anything super inventive on Zelhua. Just get there, and then you can figure it out. Once you do, though, that doesn't stop me from trying to be inventive. I've been playing Storybook Brawl for over a year at this point, so I'm always looking for new and exciting comps that I haven't played before. And in this one, I'm not sure if this is going to be considered a new comp or not. That'll make more sense towards the end of the video. I don't think I'm going to spoil this one in the thumbnail, but I start just by picking up the Bossy and then a pair of golden chickens, which allows me to triple those and hit a dragon's nest on 2.2. Then we get to pick up a baby dragon from there. That was a really quick dragon's nest pickup and definitely a really strong board at this point. But I picked up the Bossy because it was better than both of the 1/1s in the shop. I'm just trying to preserve my health total as much as possible. Doesn't mean I'm going to skip that forbidden fruit on turn 2, allowing us to pick up a pair, which then obviously leads into this great triple on 2.2. Now we are going to take a little bit of damage here from the Trophy Hunter, but that's okay because there's a lot we can do with a Dragon's Nest once we hit level 4. And again, not avoiding those forbidden fruits. I'm going to pick up one more here on 3.0, so that way we can buy a Trojan Donkey and a Princess Peep, and that's going to make us pretty strong for this fight, and we actually get to hit my opponent for almost the full amount of damage there, hitting them for 9 damage. Pretty sweet. This shop's interesting. I think that it's worth it just to wake up the sleeping princess with the Mix-a-Wizzle. We won't be able to use it for this turn, but we'll be able to use it for next turn. And then with that, the math just works out. Sell the golden chicken and pick up 2 other tier 3 characters. So here's the board. We can jump ahead again. Pretty straightforward turns, I think, for the most part. Just trying to play the best board as much as I can. Like I said, we're not worried about being inventive. We're just worried about getting to level 4, getting to level 5, and then eventually getting to level 6 and really making use of the Zelhua hero power. Though, I'll say, I guess I can spoil it a little bit. We're really going to make use of the hero power on level 5 this game, more than level 6. Sometimes I wind up going for big plays with level 6 Zelhuas, picking up a bunch of trees. This one's going to be a little bit different than that in terms of how it plays out. And then here, I'm just gearing to pick up both of these good witches. I'll fire off the Shrink spell first. Shrink Drink, I believe it's called now, which doesn't actually buy me any economy, though it will pump up the Spellweaver in the backline. So might as well go for that. But we're doing pretty good here. 32 health on 3.2, going into 4.0 with a Dragon's Nest and a pretty nice selection of characters across the board. So this is, I think, a really strong start to the game. Just have to battle through this egg spawning donkey, but once we do that, then we will be able to move along with 32 health onto level 4, like I said. So pretty strong stuff, and I just want to continue to try to be strong. I do want to look for dragons. We've got the baby dragon and we've got the dragon's nest. But I do want to look for dragons, but I still think with this current board, it's a little bit tough to pass up on the Court Wizard, and then I'm also never going to pass up on a River Wish Mermaid if the plan is to pick up dragons. So I'm going to stop down and pick that up, and I'll probably even find a way to put that onto the board. I'm just selling off the mummy to pick up a golden chicken to not waste 1 gold for the turn, but I think that this still looks really good. If I remember correctly, and we actually don't have the tracker up for this video. I would love to have the tracker up for this individual Brawl, though, because I think that this one, I think we get unlucky, but let me know what you think on this combat. We could have rearranged our units a little bit better, so that way we're not attacking as quickly with our Royals. but our opponent like never attacks into our royals the entire time until they get rid of the court wizard in the back. So awkwardly, we did not get a single bonus attack and wind up taking some damage from that, but we'll make that up pretty easily, getting to pick up the end and grabbing some extra XP. And I've talked about this a little bit in the past, though I haven't played Zelhua in a video in a while, I don't think. So it is worth reiterating that I do really like XP on this hero. By the way, I was thinking of picking up Baby Dragon. When you're Zelhua, it kind of feels like a waste of gold to even spend anything on tier 2 and tier 3 characters, even if you're pairing them off. Now, if you're tripling something, that's a little bit different. But for instance, I think we've probably rolled past a sleeping princess or two, or a Trojan donkey as well in the mix, but you can grab other characters for just as cheap, tier 4 and next turn tier 5 characters. Now, maybe I could have just purchased the Baby Dragon, banked the gold going into 5.0, and that would have been fine. By the way, I wasn't fully paying attention, but Court Wizard got wrecked in some capacity there, and we're going to wind up taking a little bit more damage, but this turn is crazy powerful. We finally find a dragon. We find a feasting dragon here, as well as a Baba Yaga. And going into 5.0 as Zelhua with 2 golden chickens in hand is just so much econ, and we're going to be able to turn this entire board around basically just in this turn. We're picking up 3 tier 5 characters, Baba Yaga, Southern Siren, and then I also want to grab this Nyan Sea Terror. So I'm just going to wind up moving some things around, figuring that out, and selling off the Trojan Donkey to pick that up. But this is a really, really strong board, especially for 4.2. 4.2 when we already have 4 level 5 characters, and you can see why we don't exactly wind up going into trees this game. We've got the start of a really good summons comp, and it's important that we're picking up a bunch of level 5 characters, because now all of the tier 5 treasures are, or I should just say that Evil Eye and Horn of Olympus are both tier 5 treasures. So you're going to want to grab a bunch of tier 5 characters to put that comp together. And that's something that Zelly can do. So that's what we're going to look at in this one. We're going to continue to pick up a bunch of tier 5 characters this turn. Like I said, Sleeping Beauty, no reason. Nyan Sea Terror, let's do it. That's going to give us the Horn of Olympus, and we're off to the races. I'm also going to pick up this Southern Siren, just got to figure out what we're selling. And ultimately, I'm going to realize we can just sell the Sleeping Princess or the Baby Dragon here. Those are both the same. I'm going to wind up selling off both of them. I'm hanging on to the pair for right now of the Good Witches, though those are going to be the next thing to go if we're able to find one more thing. And I'm even debating like the Chupacabra here as well, but ultimately I am going to decide that I just want the Nyan Sea Terror and sell off 1 golden chicken and 1 good witch, break up both of our pairs, but it's worth it because we really want the tier 5 treasures. We could use the good witches to find a treasure map and then the Nyan Sea Terrors to grab a tier 7 treasure, so it's definitely something to consider, but still pretty low odds in general. Feasting Dragon misses the sleigh. Speaking of low odds there, a little bit awkward, but we're going to have a bunch of other powerful stuff going on that it's not a huge deal, and we're going to remain at 22 health here. I'm going to triple up on the Baba Yaga, grab Staff of the Old Toad, which is absolutely incredible, and then I'm also going to be able to grab the Evil Eye this turn. Now with Staff of the Old Toad on Zelhua, yeah, these shops are just crazy powerful. We're only going to be seeing tier 4 and tier 5 characters, and everything's super cheap. So that's going to allow us to easily pick up another River Wish Mermaid, and now we're like basically full build. This is 5.1 and we are already full build at this point, and I typically wouldn't play Slay that much on Zelhua in the past, but I don't know, maybe it's a little bit different because Slay comps used to revolve around picking up a bunch of tier 4 characters, which felt like kind of a waste of gold on Zelhua, but now that Slay comps want to pick up a bunch of tier 5 characters to find Evil Eye and Horn of Olympus, makes a lot more sense to try them out on this hero, and it's definitely working here. Feasting Dragon's going to grab some nice slays there, some bonus stats on itself as well as our shop. And then we're going to steal a whole bunch of things there with the Southern Siren, which doesn't really do much, but it's a pretty looking board. We got a bunch of nutcrackers here, and that's going to fend my opponent off and actually hit them for a nice chunk of damage as well, which is good. We hit them for, oh wow, that was the full Monty. That was 7 plus 9. That was Exacxes. Wow, okay, that's really good. Gotta fire off a True Love's Kiss on 6.0 on my upgraded Nyan Sea Terror, of course, and I get rewarded with Jormungand. And yeah, just kind of insane. Very, very lucky game. And we haven't found a single Lightning Dragon this whole time, but I think that it is worth it to pick up Doom Breath here, the different type of dragon. And like I said, we're kind of full build. You want to play 2 River Wish Mermaids, and normally I wouldn't throw away a River Wish Mermaid, like I wouldn't triple them up here, but we also had a Baba Yaga in the shop, so it seemed worth it. And that allows me to pick up Krampus's Sleigh against Horde Dragon, which is pretty good because Horde Dragon often has some high-level treasures, and high-level treasures they have. World Tree we could steal, or we could steal an Evil Eye from my opponent and have double Evil Eye, and ultimately I decide that's where we're going. I already know I'm winning this combat with flying colors. We're going to Southern Siren and steal a bunch of units from my opponent and then get in there with the Jormungand. This time we hit my opponent for 25. Now I'm grabbing that Evil Eye, and we're going to have some bonus cash this turn as well. And I thought, I kind of teased this earlier on, thought I was being really inventive and cheeky here. To have a double Evil Eye comp is super cool. That's something that's never, or you can't like plan around that. It's just either going to present itself or it isn't. What I didn't realize is this is functionally the exact same comp as having Horn Eye Mimic Chest, because Mimic Chest only copies the Evil Eye, so that's a comp that I have done many a times, but still, I'll say that this comp is somewhat inventive because it looks cool to play both of those chickens with those Evil Eyes there. I pick up the Medusa because at some point I think I'm going to want to cut the Feasting Dragon for Medusa in an endgame board, though I'm going to play the Feasting Dragon for one more turn because why not? We get to see Doom Breath go absolutely nutso here as it slays against an Echo Wood as well as whatever my opponent had in the front line. But when your Doom Breath is killing an Echo Wood, you know you're in a pretty good spot there. Feasting Dragon also going to get the Slay. My opponent, or my whole board is bigger than my opponent's Echo Wood at this point. We actually trade there with the Southern Siren, but what's crazy is that's actually great because then the Echo Wood spawn and they see the buff that Jormungand just grabbed. Jormungand also gets to slay against a Rotten Applewood, so just everything is working out for us in this one. And now we've got an absolutely massive Doom Breath that should allow us to continue to keep taking over the game. I'm going to pick up Baba Yaga just because that seems sweet. We could triple that up and have a whole bunch more slays. And then I find another River Wish Mermaid and I'm like, okay, well, I really should play that because it is better to play 2 River Wish Mermaids and 1 Baba Yaga, and that just gives overall more slays to the rest of the board. We also find a Jormungand, which is basically like the final piece, the last thing that we're looking for. So I'm just going to transition this into like the end game comp, and we'll just play double Jormungand, Medusa, and Doom Breath. And this is about as good of a slay comp as you can get. Sometimes Lightning Dragons are going to be better than Doom Breath, but this Doom Breath's also awesome. Getting to grab a triple slay and survive with double River Wish Mermaid, upgraded Baba Yaga, double Evil Eye, everything just goes absolutely insane here. We just have to avoid the Rotten Applewood, and that can't scam both of my Jormungands. So I think we're in a pretty good spot here. Just an absolutely crazy game here. Medusa also gets to slay. You're going to see that get 2 crazy numbers. Doom Breath at almost 400. I'm not sure if I've ever had a bigger Doom Breath. That definitely qualifies for the Dizzy emote there. And then my Jormungand's get to take over. One will trade with the Rotten Applewood, but will be able to take out my opponent's Echo Wood easy enough. It is crazy to pass on a World Tree, though I think we made the right decision there, picking up that second Evil Eye. You don't really need World Tree to make the Slay comps work, but yeah, I thought this was fun. And let me know, do you think it was inventive to play a second Evil Eye? You don't have to be inventive sometimes, and you can still do some pretty fun stuff in Storybook Brawl. But for today, that's going to be it for me. So thank you guys very much for watching. I'm No Lex Given. Peace.